In my travels in Kansas, I'm often asked, how can Washington continue to spend and borrow so much? What will our country be like for our kids and grandkids? I join Kansans in voicing these concerns. In just the last 2 years, government spending has grown nearly 25%, and we have had a record $1 trillion budget deficits. This year, the federal government will spend $3.7 trillion and collect $2.2 trillion. That's a shortfall of $1.5 trillion. Common sense. Kansas common sense tells us this pattern cannot continue. Some will say we need to raise taxes to get us out of this mess. But the reality is we don't have a revenue problem, we have a spending problem. Experience shows us that money raised by Washington, D.C. results in more spending in Washington, D.C. When we continue to fail to balance the budget, it means increasing inflation, higher interest rates, uncertainty in the economy, which results in less business investment and fewer jobs. This is not an academic discussion. It is not a partisan discussion. It is about the future of our nation. And we were not elected to ignore these problems, but rather to confront them. Congress can and should do what Kansans do, make decisions based on solid values, and be held accountable for those decisions. You know, in Washington, D.C., it's often easy to forget what's most important in the midst of all the talk of partisan politics, the next election, or the latest poll. When I need a reminder, I'll take a walk. And I'll walk from this magnificent Capitol to the Lincoln Memorial. And between those 2 points, I now pass the World War II Memorial. I pass the Vietnam Wall, and on my way back, I'll walk by the Korean War Memorial. These memorials to our citizen soldiers help put everything in its proper perspective. Our freedoms are so important that our nation's sons and daughters were willing to risk their lives to defend and protect them. These brave men and women didn't sacrifice for Republicans or Democrats. They gave their lives for greater good of our country and to ensure that their children and grandchildren would also experience American freedom and liberty. We have before us an opportunity to set aside the game of politics and to work together to confront the enormous challenges before us. Whether we have the courage to tackle our fiscal crisis now will determine the course of our country's future into the next generation as well. And I stand ready to work with all my colleagues in this chamber to do what it takes to get our economy back on track. Americans are known for their enterprising spirit and strong resolve, and our country will recover when we begin to live within our means and create a pro-growth business and job environment. I did not come to Washington, D.C. for personal glory. I came to Washington because I believe we have a responsibility to be good stewards of what we've been given and to pass to the next generation the life we love and lead. We know what America can and should look like. As I humbly begin my new responsibilities, I remain committed to leading with Kansas common sense and to making the tough decisions necessary today so that tomorrow and every day thereafter, our children and grandchildren can live in America with freedom and liberty, and that they will have the opportunity to dream big and to pursue those dreams. If I'm successful, I will have fulfilled my responsibilities. If I'm successful, I will have fulfilled my responsibilities as a parent, just like my mom and dad, and as an American who believes our country's better and brighter days lie ahead.
And suggests that it seems like we have a new senator from Kansas in the tradition of Bob Dole and